Okay, I'm going to call our work agenda session to order. I apologize that we're running a little bit late. We had an executive session, but welcome, everybody. We're glad you're here. And we got several new board members. We're glad you're here. We got a lot to talk about today. Thank you. That's appropriate. Yes. So we're glad you're here. We got several delegations. So, Mr. King, if you would speak to our delegations.
All right. Hello, good evening. First, I'm going to, as we look at those delegates that are going to be speaking, I'd like to remind you of a policy that we have. We allow, as our lawyer said, we allow open mic, but it does have some restrictions with it. We have at least 4 people speaking from Goals of Public School, Strong, Tennessee. If we were using HCEA as an example, we would have 1 speaker speaking for HCEA. If they had 3 different representatives here, they could all come to the microphone, but 1 speaker would speak. So or they could share that 5 minutes of time. So just in reminder, after today, if we have a coalition of people speaking, and you're speaking with the same organization, you'll all be at the microphone together. You'll have 5 minutes as a group to speak. All right? At this time, I'm going to read the statement. So thank you all for your interest in addressing the Hamilton County School Board of Education. During your presentation, please address the board as a whole, not individual board members or administrators. Also, please do not present complaints or concerns that you have about an individual employee of the school system. If you wish to voice those complaints and concerns, you should contact central office and ask for a meeting with the superintendent, since the superintendent is responsible for individual employees. Please limit your remarks to 5 minutes, and I will let you know with a quiet 1 minute remaining when that happens. At this time, if we could have Lindsay Lind.
Good evening, school board members. I want to thank you for listening to my concerns regarding board policy number 1.501, which states therapists may not provide services to students during the instructional day and are only allowed to conduct limited observations. Policy number 1501 should be reviewed and amended to allow provisions for service providers to have the ability to provide services that allow push-in therapies for any student in need. This would increase supportive services and accommodations for teachers and students who require or need additional support within the learning environment. I bring you my case as an example of why changing this policy would significantly benefit my child and others with this policy change, as I'm a mother of a son who has a rare genetic condition along with autism. His doctors have told me that it would best benefit him having a one-on-one ancillary to ensure his academic success, alongside therapeutic interventions and student support plans that would be implemented with fidelity by the school. However, during the 13 IEP meetings we have had, we were giving the responses of, if we provide it for your child, others would need it, we would have to post a job, we would have to pay an additional salary, and it is the least restrictive environment. When asked to consider our outside therapists to be able to provide the service in school, as our insurance covered the costs, we were presented with this policy 1.501. We are asking for outside ABA therapists to come in. Applied behavioral analysis has become generally recognized as a standard care for autism treatment. A registered behavioral therapist, or RBT, provides ABA services, and funding for this service exists. But access for this treatment has been limited or refused in the public schools, which is the main environment where children spend the most effective hours of their day. Autism affects 1 in 36 kids in this country per CDC. It was noted in the Autism Legal Resource Center that without access to ABA, which can be virtually at no cost to the schools, children face poor outcomes and diminished futures. Conversely, with access to adequate treatment, nearly half of the children can be potentially mainstreamed, and another 40% can achieve a substantial measure of functionality. The school district should consider contracting with a community agency specialized in ABA therapy, just like Lighthouse has contracted with the Head Start program. This could be instrumental in assisting students and teachers with creating a supportive learning environment in which behaviors demonstrated by children diagnosed with autism would not impede the learning of others. I was often told during my IEP meetings that school staff were unable to properly assess my son's education as they were not skilled in managing stemming behaviors often displayed by children with autism. ABA therapy is generally considered medically necessary, but most insurance companies is covered by most insurance companies for autistic kids. In Tennessee, health benefit plans were given until March 1st, 2020 to pay for ABA services for an autism diagnosis. Medicaid also covers ABA therapy for those who meet qualifications in all 50 states as of 2022 per central reach. The cost of these services will be covered at little cost to the school. I'm asking for the school district to work with families to support them by reviewing this policy and creating provisions. As a district, there are always ways to work through this for the success of students and teachers that would allow teachers to focus on teaching and the therapists to focus on the behavior. Knox County Schools changed their policy in 2023. Nashville schools follow this policy. Walker County, Catoosa County, and Whitfield County schools all allow for these services. Let's ensure we don't fall behind. And 1 in 36 of your students have autism diagnosis. It can assist with teachers being able to focus on teaching instead of behaviors. ABA is a proven treatment that can help them thrive in the short and long run. It can be provided at virtually no cost to the schools. Other schools in Tennessee have seen the light, so why not Hamilton County? Please help assist children that need additional support in the school by changing policy 1.501, as I have presented my personal case to enable outside therapists to work within your school setting. Hamilton County, let's not try to be better, let's be better. Thank you.
Could I ask you a question real quick? Do you know, you did some research, so does 10 Care
Yes.
take care of it? 10
It
Care
does.
All right.
And actually, for those of you that don't know, Katie Beckett actually covers it as well. It's a program that helps pay and cover your expense for people that have private insurance, and that it helps pay for our co-pays and everything.
Thank you.
Yep.
Would you mind listing the county? You said Knoxville,
Yes,
Nashville,
so,
Walker, Whitfield County, Georgia. What were the
Knox
others?
County Schools actually changed the policy in 2023.
Okay.
Nashville schools actually already follow this. Like, they allow outside ABA therapists to come in and work with autistic kids. And also in Georgia, like Walker County, Catoosa County, and Whitfield County schools all allow these services within the school system.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I just want to say thank you for coming.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for listening.
Angela Walker?
Chairman, Ms. Walker emailed said she would be unable to attend tonight.
All right, thank you. Rebecca Day?
Good evening. First, I want to extend my congratulations to all the newly elected school board members who won their recent elections. We look forward to your leadership and fresh perspectives that you're going to bring to our county. May the Lord bless you and keep you and make his face shine upon you, be gracious to you, and bring you peace. We've witnessed a series of troubling incidents this year, and yet the response from administration has left many parents and community members feeling uncertain and frustrated. The safety of students should be an absolute priority, and I know you guys know that, and that priority should extend beyond watching a video. It must include clear written administrative procedures that ensure parents are informed promptly and consistently across the county, which has not been happening. The following incidents highlight the urgent need for clear policies and swift communication between school officials and parents. August 13th, a firearm was recovered and 2 students were arrested after an altercation at Howard. August 14th, threat of mass violence made at Brown Middle. August 19th, threat of mass violence made at Hickson Middle. August 25th, threat of mass violence made at Red Bank High School. August 26th, threat of mass violence made at Brown Middle. Another threat against East Hamilton High School on that day. August 27th, student with a handgun tucked in their waistband on school property. Same day, threat of mass violence leads to student arrest at Chattanooga Prep. August 28th, Sequoia High School was placed on lockdown due to mass threat. Same day, a student at Central High School was arrested for disorderly conduct and resisting arrest. September 3rd, East Hamilton Middle student arrested for having a firearm and a loaded magazine at school. September 4th, CSAS student was arrested after sending threatening text involving explosives and bullets. September 5th, threat of mass violence against Hunter Middle, student arrested. September 10th, threat of mass violence at Hickson, Red Bank, and Saudi Daisy Middle Schools. September 11th, threat of mass violence at Tyner Middle. September 12th, student charged with threatening to kill 2 teachers at Chattanooga Prep. September 13th, gun found at Chattanooga Prep in student's backpack. Also a threat of mass violence at Normal Park Upper. The 17th, there was arrest at Ottawa. The 19th, Central had a threat. And today, a 12-year-old was arrested at Dalewood. These are not isolated events. They're just the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot of stuff that goes on inside the school system that we are not informed of. Thank God for the Sheriff's Department and Sheriff Garrett. These recent incidents reflect a deeper issue in how the school system is addressing safety and discipline. Restorative justice practices, while well-intentioned, are simply not working. We need a more defined, specific, and measurable approach to ensure that our children are protected. According to the sheriff, there have been 52 total arrests at the county schools this year, including 33 felonies. So the plan that I hope that you guys will develop needs to be developed by experts in the field of school safety, not solely by the administration. We need those who specialize in threat assessment, crisis management, and student safety to guide this process, ensuring that we use the best practices available. I urge the board to work together to develop a comprehensive safety plan and communicate that to the community and especially to parents. Our children deserve better, and we must now act to further prevent that harm that's been happening all across the nation, really. This isn't isolated to Hamilton County. The safety of our students and peace of mind of parents should not be left to vague policies. Please come up with a real solution, one that prioritizes the well-being and safety of every child in the district. Thank you.
Thank you. Harriet Reed.
Hello and welcome to the new school board members. So good to see you. I would like to address a couple issues regarding the public having access to the school board. My understanding is that the public address to the board used to happen at a time conducive to people who work during the school day or work during the day. A 4:30 start time, usually 4 p.m. if you plan to speak, means people need to leave early in order to participate. Why are we making that more difficult? Additionally, the rules were also changed so that the current agenda items could only be addressed, and if you didn't want to address the current agenda items, you'd have to send an email 3 days in advance. This is really difficult for a lot of people, and it's unreasonable to expect that that can happen, especially if something happens within that 2-day, say, time period that you want to have addressed. So Hamilton County Schools, as we just heard, they're in the midst of unprecedented violence here. I'm sure this has not been the norm from year to year, and every resident really should have the ability to have their voices heard and their concerns addressed. And they have concerns about, appropriate disciplinary measures and notifications to parents. In some cases, a lot of parents were not being notified. And what exactly is being done to curb this violence. So isn't it the job of the board to represent the people that elect them? We appreciate you, we really do. But we don't want it to make it more difficult for us to communicate together. And I don't know how you would know what our concerns are if you don't allow people to just address whatever their concerns are rather than looking at the agenda items to determine what's, what they want to speak about on the agenda. I would also encourage you to employ a more transparent way to announce the agenda items on the Hamilton County Department of Education Public View and include abstracts for items that better express what the item is about without having to click on every single PDF. For example, under bids and contracts, you'll find that the Hamilton County Resolution 124-14. What's that about? You have to click on it to find out. Why can't we just have a short abstract that says it's a resolution to appropriate $3.688 million to repair 20 schools? Now, if you want to click on that and find out which schools are involved or how much money is being spent or what they're repairing, now you can click on it. Another says opening tabulation, bid 25-06. Opening tabulation for what? Why couldn't it include the information that it's about the purchase of musical instruments and repairs? If you did that, now busy parents and members of the community can quickly identify items of interest by scanning the document and spending their times on things of interest to them and their children. I know this is a bit more time consuming, but we're dealing with people who don't have an hour or two to devote to this, and it seems it would be much simpler if you could just put that little abstract in there and help people out. People are really busy. There's so many things going on, and if we could make it easier to communicate, I think we'd do a lot better. So again, we really do appreciate your service. Let's make it easier to communicate together. Thank you.
Jessica Bonham, or Bonham, I'm hoping I pronounce it right. And a helper.
Maybe.
Feel free to come up to the microphone, young lady.
Hello, my name is Jessica Bonham. I'm here as a resident of Hamilton County, the mother of a rising third grader, Harley, at Red Bank Elementary in District 2, and as a member of Public School Strong. Public School Strong is a collection of parents, teachers, staff, and community members who love our public schools and believe they can be even better with more funding and support. We are here to build meaningful relationships with our school board reps, to work collectively towards honest, equitable, safe, and fully funded public education so that every child can thrive in high-quality public schools. I want to offer a warm welcome to the new members of the school board, and thank you all for your hard work and dedication to our children. We're so excited to see what great things you'll accomplish over the next 4 years. So much is going right. We have caring teachers doing a heroic job. We have hot breakfasts and lunches served at Red Bank Elementary, and a forest program that has done wonders for my child's curiosity and confidence. I am so grateful for every employee of our school system who is looking out for our kids. And yet I'm still concerned for my daughter's safety with the alarming rise of school shootings in our country. The state's last attempt to address this problem was to arm teachers and staff. I know the superintendent spoke against this, and I deeply appreciate that. I don't believe bringing more guns into the school is the solution. I plan to schedule a meeting with my school board representative to discuss this further. And in the meantime, I urge this new board to reconsider a resolution to opt out of allowing teachers and faculty to carry concealed weapons in our schools. I joined Public School Strong because I want our public schools to be protected and supported and a place where all of our students can thrive. I'm here to invite you to work with us and meet with us to work towards our shared goals. Your collaboration is crucial in building public relationships with your local parent, teacher, student, and community advocates, and making a difference in our schools. Thank you.
Thank you. Quick question, young lady, what's your favorite subject? Okay. Matt, oh. Crystal Bowen.
Hi, my name is Crystal Bohm, and I'm here today speaking to you as a parent of 2 Hamilton County students in District 2, as a substitute teacher, and as a member of Public School Strong. I believe we're all here for the common goal of making our public schools as awesome as they can possibly be. And I think we all agree that our teachers are one of the things that makes our public schools so amazing. Unfortunately, we have seen more and more teachers leaving in pursuit of new careers. As a substitute teacher over the last 5 years, I have seen how many teachers have left in our specific district. I've sat in the teachers' lounge with the teachers while they work through their 20-minute lunch, and I listen to the struggles that they have in their jobs. Now, I'm not here to talk about teacher pay. We all know that our teachers deserve to make more money and to have their salaries raised, and I hope that you guys will continue to fight for that, as well as urging the county commissioners to do so as well. Tennessee ranks in the bottom 10 for public school funding in the country, while 60% of the corporations here pay 0 in taxes. We would like to see those corporations pay their fair share to fund the communities that they benefit from. We know that this is not just a school board issue, but a collective issue with many factors. I've spoken to several teachers who have recently left, and none of them solely left solely because of teacher pay. Teachers are leaving because they don't feel supported by their admin. They don't feel safe in their jobs. They have an enormous amount of work and unrealistic expectations put on them. Many of them are dealing with students who are misbehaving, and they feel a lack of support when making judgment calls. Everyone deserves to feel safe at school. We seek common sense, restorative solutions to ensure mental, physical, and emotional well-being for our students, teachers, and staff. A 2023 Vanderbilt study found that 20% of teachers in Tennessee do not come back each year, and only 65% plan on staying in education long-term. I'm happy to say that here in Hamilton County, only 12% of our teachers don't come back, but we still have a lot of work to do. When you combine those numbers with the decrease in how many people are graduating with education degrees, we have a real problem. And if we don't address it, it will continue to get worse. Lately, there have been a lot of distractions around education that have taken attention away from important issues such as teacher retention and attracting new teachers into the profession. We are asking you to please keep your focus on the important issues at hand. At Public School Strong, we are committed to supporting our educators, and we are asking every school board member to meet with us. The residents that you represent, the parents who entrust you with their children, and the community members who care about public education. We look forward to scheduling meetings with you all, and welcome to the new Hamilton County School Board.
Catherine White.
My son attends Red Bank High School. When I received the text about the potential threat there on September 25th, and thereafter found out, as was relayed today, that there's been 15 other events, 3 of which have involved guns, I felt that it was necessary to come and speak to you because I'm concerned, obviously, as a mom, as a parent, and as a citizen. I've decided to speak up to say, first of all, that this is not a problem that's going to go away. The school board cannot fix bad parenting, drugs, alcohol, mental illness, violent video games, violent music, or social media overload. You just can't. It's systemic. And so the root cause, when you've got this concern, needs to be addressed differently. We've got 45,000 children and 79 schools. And so what worries me is it only takes one unhinged child to inflict horrific pain. Times have changed, and I think the school board's going to have to come up with some ideas about how to keep up with the changing times. For the safety of our children, God love them, and our teachers, God love them, and I cover them with the blood of Jesus every day because of the dangers that are out there. But what it boils down to is stricter security measures that will deter these demented children before they can act, or God forbid, let me rephrase, he will keep them from acting out or they'll get caught. I'm requesting you to put together a task force consisting of our sheriff, our chief of police, and a team of security experts to look into putting metal detectors in all of our schools. Don't kid yourselves, the elementary schools need them because they're what they call a soft target. It could be anybody that could come in there. So in terms of complaints or concerns, I've heard a little slow getting into school. Not necessarily if you have a list that says, here's what you cannot take through the metal detector, then the children are on notice, and if the thing goes off because they violated the rule, they need to be pulled out of the line, sent to the principal's office. You can use plastic clear backpacks. I understand they use those in some school districts to see what's in the backpack. And then as for the cost, I'm very excited to tell you that I discovered on January 30th, 2024, Tennessee House Representative Bricken introduced House Bill 2344, and then on January 31st, 2024, State Senator Bowling introduced Senate Bill 2765. What these propose to do is to introduce and enact the Protecting Students, Schools, and Events Act, which is subject to appropriations. I have a copy of the bill, and it's about 2 pages of the whereas portion, whereas, but what it said is studies have shown a significant reduction in weapon-related violence in schools with metal detectors, highlighting their effectiveness as a visible deterrent and contributor to a safer learning environment. And it goes on to discuss walk-through metal detectors. And then this was the real gift. Whereas it is the intent of this act that this state will pay to provide the full cost of these units, including shipping, delivery, on-site installation, training, and manufacturer's warranty. It is the intent of this act that the maximum price to be paid for a walk-through metal detector under this act is $17,000, and then it goes on to explain how that basically bids are sent out. Well, the word subject to appropriation got me thinking. So I thought, well, we've got this lottery, this wonderful lottery that funds education in Tennessee. And I would just note that under the Tennessee Constitution, Article 11, Section 5, basically the revenues from the lottery provide for assistance to attend post-secondary school, but it also sets out for capital outlay projects. According to the budget instruction for the state, a capital outlay would include a program for health and life safety projects. The lottery has $100 million set aside every year for a shortfall, and I'm just saying that you need to please call your state representative and senators to get these bills passed through and have them sit down and figure out how to get this money that is sitting in a bank account from the lottery. I also would like to suggest that we could use vets and law enforcement individuals who are retired to run these machines if the state funds are not sufficient to pay for them. We've got to do something before it's too late.
Thank you.
And people get killed. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sophie Baristecki.
Hello, my name is Sophia Baristecki, and I'm a student of Hamilton County, and I have been for about 7 years. I currently attend CCA, and I have recently become a member of Public School Strong. I'd like to welcome the 5 new school board members and thank you all for showing up as representatives. Public School Strong's values are important to me because they advocate for equity, safety, and sufficient funding in public schools, which all directly affect me. But what I would like to talk about today is that Hamilton County and the state need fully funded schools. It's important to understand that when kids do not attend a fully resourced school, they're not getting the support and education they need and have a right to. This scares me because it allows for a future where teens like me are not prepared for adulthood, and it encourages these underfunded learning environments to continue functioning the way they are. Tennessee, I know this statistic was mentioned already, but Tennessee is ranked in the bottom 10 for funding public education, and 60% of corporations in the state do not pay anything in taxes. This means they are not contributing anything to the communities that they are benefiting from. You all have a job to represent the interest of me and my communities when it comes to budget and bringing it to the county commission. I need you all to be willing to listen and work with us so that our concerns are being addressed accurately and genuinely. I'm the first student to be a part of Public School Strong in Hamilton County, and I look forward to seeing more students willing to be involved. So thank you for your time, and I hope that we can work together and meet soon. Thank you.
Jeanette Omarkill.
Good evening. I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome our new members. It's good to see you here in every seat filled. I'm Jeanette Omarkill. I'm the president of the Hamilton County Education Association. Please know that we are supportive of your role in our public schools. You are a vital part of what is done here. Our mission and goal at HCA our mission is to actively support, engage, and empower students, educators, and our profession by uniting all stakeholders to promote excellence in public schools. And our vision is to unite our members in diverse community, their voices, to fulfill the promise of public education through a shared responsibility to ensure all students, all educators, and all schools are excelling. We believe in great public schools, and like you, we support all of our children. The motto behind you, all children thrive and experience a future without limits, that is our goal as well. We are not in it because we want to promote ourselves. Educators go into education because of the students that we teach. We support Opportunity 2030. Every student learns, every student can learn, and needs to have that opportunity. We agree that every student needs to feel that they belong. We agree that every school needs to be equipped to meet those needs. Every employee, whether they are driving in a bus, working in the cafeteria, or running the school, or running the district, should feel valued. And that looks different for everyone. And our district is working to find out what that is. And they're working with our community to do that. We also believe that every community needs to be served. It is not one size fits all. You have to know your community in order to do that. One of the things to know is that we have worked through the years, HCA has worked through the years to provide in a lot of different ways, not just for our members, but with the school itself. We've provided NEA grants for many needs through the years. I know that national board training had been one of the things that we brought thousands of dollars in to support educators in gaining that. Middle schools, I want to say For a Great Society, I'm trying to remember the name of it, was another program that we came in to help support, brought in monies to help support, and brought in consultants and worked with the district. PEF STEM program, we partnered with them to bring funding in to help grow that program. Right now we are in the end of the year of a huge grant that has helped us to look at promoting and supporting our early career educators, especially our educators of color, because they're leaving. The district is pulling in and doing many of those things, and we're trying to support that effort. We have trained, one of the things we've done is provide professional development and leadership training. We are working to provide mentoring supports for the years 4 and 5, because that isn't completely engaged yet. They're working towards doing that. And we also have been providing to support the restorative practice nature of our district by providing restorative practice trainers We have trained 42 of our educators in Hamilton County to be trainers in their building. That is a huge need that we have. I want you to know, as you go into your buildings this year, please take time to talk to your staff and hear their stories. Not wanting you to go and say, what do you want to complain about? I want you to go hear their stories about their kids, the stories about what's happening.
1 minute.
Some of them are going to break your hearts, and some of them are going to make you very joyful. Your enormous task is to promote, protect, and provide for our schools. The decisions that you make impact 6,000 plus employees and 46,000 students now and for years to come, and it's not an easy task. You're an integral part now of the tapestry of Hamilton County Schools. Know that we are here to collaborate with you just as we do with our district. We are not your adversaries. We are here to work with you. You will be given my card. Steve has my card and contact information. Let's have a coffee chat. Let's talk about how we can work together this year to help our schools to grow and prosper. Thank you.
Thank you. Rachel Miller.
Oh, this is nerve-wracking. Okay. Congratulations to the members who are newly appointed. My name is Rachel Miller. I'm a resident of Hamilton County District 2, and I'm here with Public School Strong. I do want to say that I feel really grateful, even a little bit anxious to be here with you all, and I appreciate your presence. I'm here because I'm raising a future student of Nolan Elementary. He's only 2.5 right now, but he'll get there. It's my hope that when it's time for him to immerse himself into the public school system, that he will be attending a school which is fully funded, safe, and fully resourced with caring and compassionate teachers who love showing up in their vocation. I want to feel confident that my son will be supported in his educational endeavors with the promises made by our school board. I would love to see future collaborations and curiosity-driven engagement between the school board and Public School Strong to ensure that the needs of students and teachers alike are always at the forefront of the school board's actions. I have witnessed across the country schools becoming increasingly distracted by issues that don't focus on the well-being and success of both students and teachers. And I know that we can do better and genuinely believe that we have an incredible opportunity, especially with this blank slate of newly elected school board members. To always keep sight on the goal of supporting teachers with the resources they need in order to bring quality education to all students. Children are the future. I don't think anyone here would argue with that. I think we all believe that, and I think that's why we're all here. So let's ensure that we always keep our eyes and hearts in line with that truth and acknowledge that teachers are stewards of their burgeoning journey into the world we want to see. I hope we can all maintain a growth mindset and that the school board will be open to meeting with Public School Strong to continue fostering a school environment that shows through action the importance of our children, their education, their limitless potential, and the teachers that help guide them to it. Thank you.
Dana Carmody.
Members of the board, thank you so much for being here tonight and for the opportunity to speak. My name is Dana Carmody, and I have been an employee of Hamilton County Schools since 2006. I'm also the parent of 2 Hamilton County students. I know that safety is a priority that we are speaking about tonight, student safety and teacher safety, so I'll get right to it. The first solution, we're going to hear a wonderful solution after me that presents some opportunity in our district, but I believe the first solution to ensure that student and teacher safety is protected, please vote no tonight to amending the Tennessee state law of threats of mass violence. Local 3 News ran a story last week. I was scrolling through, found it, that mentioned some of our officials want to not only amend the language in the state law, but also want to change this offense's status from being a zero tolerance offense. The resolution tonight asks lawmakers to include the language, quote, valid threat, and it would enable students who make threats of mass violence to be dealt with on a school-by-school basis, negating any consistency or level of seriousness in consequences. A student could make a threat of mass violence at a Hamilton County school, be suspended for maybe up to 10 days, and then return right back to class where the peers would see, almost give them a strong reputation, you know, to be doing whatever they want and be able to return to class. I'm sorry, I'm a little nervous because I love this district and I want to change things for all of our kids, not just my personal kids. The proposed resolution, as I understand it, states that district officials discovered frequently that students were being charged with offenses even when, quote, a reasonable person might not believe that the threat was credible, and that they want to spare the student making the threat any serious mental and emotional harm. My question is, when will we consider the serious mental and emotional harm done to all our other students as they watch our officials treat mass violence threats with anything less than the seriousness that our current law allows? What will I tell my son? Today, just today, News Channel 9 released a portion of the 2023 investigation into the Atlanta shooter. The FBI agent wrote that, quote, Colt expressed concerns that someone is accusing him of threatening to shoot up a school, stating he would never say such a thing, even in a joking manner. They took him at his word and allowed him to return to in-person education. 4 people are dead now, and countless more are traumatized, truly traumatized. This tragedy in Atlanta shows us why every single threat must be dealt with in a very serious manner, as the current state law allows. Our neighboring Marion County has been in the news for a high number of arrests among students for threats of mass violence. They, however, have been in the news for pushing in security measures, while we are in the news for asking for leniency in addressing threats of mass violence. I would like to share some teacher and parent reactions upon learning about this resolution.
1 minute.
I'll just share okay. Quote, these are parents. This is total BS. I am so glad they have been required to take each and every threat seriously. As a mother, I would expect nothing less. Quote, I know our county seems to have low expectations for behavior based on what I hear is allowed to go on at school, but how can they think this is acceptable just after what just happened in Atlanta? Just happened. Another quote, this is unconscionable. Our students deserve the highest level of protection, and we want to reduce protection? Here are some teacher quotes. An appeal for a threat of mass violence or weapon offense should never be allowed. We have a virtual school up and running to provide these kids with their free, appropriate public education. I need one more. Wanting to amend this law is a smack in the face to us and what we do every day. When you vote tonight, how can you be sure it's a valid threat? How can our assessment teams 100% be sure? I just ask you, please vote no to amending this language.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Charles Anderson.
As Mr. Doremus hands these out to you, I just wanted to say I'm excited to be here. I've been trying to reach each of you about your car warranties. Oh, you want me to go ahead and start? Okay, I didn't know if you were
No,
waiting.
we'll wait.
Okay.
Yes.
Ready? Okay, all right. Good evening, respected educators, parents, and board members. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak on an issue that I believe could revolutionize safety, learning, and accountability in our schools. Today, I want to address the potential of AI augmented cameras in our schools, a solution that can enhance not only security, but the overall learning environment. My journey to this realization began with firearms being discovered in a student's locker over a week ago at East Hamilton Middle School. I have children at both East Hamilton Middle and High, so this immediately led me to start thinking about possible solutions to security concerns in our environment, in our school's learning environment. I believe in solutions to problems, which led me to an artificial intelligence by a company called Volt AI. Volt offers an artificial intelligence that interfaces directly with cameras already in our school systems. It requires no additional equipment purchase. Volt provides the needed interface for school cameras at no cost. Volt becomes the security control center and monitors for fights, firearms, falls, anything that could be of concern in a school environment. Volt has the ability to make EMS and law enforcement calls if administration fails to respond or cannot respond. Volt provides 3D mapping and tracking of any subject and will continue to track until the situation is cleared. Volt immediately recognizes any weapons and marries that weapon to the perpetrator, even if the weapon is then hidden and the subject alters their clothing appearance with a hat or a hoodie. Volt also provides situational awareness to teachers, administrators, and law enforcement during an incident in real time. Simply put, Volt allows them to know what they're walking into. After speaking with Volt's Chief Technical Officer and Regional Director, I contacted Representative Esther Helton Haynes, Senator Tom Gardenhire, and Congressman Fleischman. Representative Haynes responded and asked if I would be interested in her setting a meeting with several people to discuss the situation and possible solutions. Last week, I met with school board member Jody Schaefer, Representative Helton Haynes, Senator Gardenhire, Principal Eller, Principal McCulley, County Commissioner Todd Helton, and Hamilton County Sheriff's Office SDO Director Captain Jamie Fields, and Volt AI CEO Igor Olteanu, who somehow I managed to convince to travel here from Bethesda, Maryland for a meeting in one day's notice. This meeting went well, and I was impressed with the information provided by Mr. Olteanu about Volt AI. So much so that Jody Schaefer got an appointment scheduled for us with Mr. Sharp at the school board office. And as we went through everything and Mr. Olteanu presented everything to Mr. Sharp and answered questions, many options were discussed. One of the most significant things that came up during this meeting was Mr. Olteanu made the offer for us to pilot this system in East Hamilton Middle and High schools for free so that the school system and the school board can see how this performs in our school. This comes down to the importance of safety. Our children deserve to feel safe and protected when they step onto school grounds. Unfortunately, we live in a world where school safety is a growing concern. Traditional security measures, while helpful, often react to incidents after they've occurred. AI augmented cameras offer something different. Using machine learning algorithms, these cameras can monitor suspicious behaviors, detect unauthorized access, or alert administrators to potential emergencies, such as a fight or an intruder in real time. If it sees a fight with 5 or 10 children, it will track all 5 or 10 children no matter which direction they came from or which direction they're going back to. So early detection through AI-powered surveillance could prevent incidents before they escalate, as many of you have mentioned, saving lives in our schools. In an age where accountability is crucial, AI augmented cameras provide an unbiased record of events, whether it's addressing conflicts between students or assessing incidents from an impartial standpoint. These cameras ensure transparency. Misunderstandings can quickly be resolved when there's accurate footage combined with intelligent analysis. In conclusion, AI augmented cameras are more than just a technological innovation. They are a necessary step forward in creating safer, more inclusive, and more effective learning environments. We owe it to our students, our teachers, and ourselves to embrace technological solutions that empower us to address challenges proactively rather than reactively. Let us consider this technology not with fear, but with hope for what it can achieve. AI augmented cameras are not just a future possibility. They are a tool we can adopt now to build safer, smarter schools for everyone. And I would like to say that the VP of Sales, Ryan Jacobs, is also here with me from Volt AI, and we will remain after the meeting if any parents or anyone would like to ask questions. Again, I am a parent, but I found something that I believe could be a solution to some of our problems and concerns, and so I went and found it. And I brought it to you. So now it's in your hands.
Thank you.
Gregory Scott Poteet.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Gregory Scott Poteet. If you Googled that name, that is not me. He was in space last week. He's a fighter pilot and an astronaut, so that's not me. I have lived in Hamilton County since 2000. I've taught 6th grade math and science and 7th grade small engine work at a school in the county. My doctorate is in school administration. I work for Westinghouse on Amnicola Highway. We have a multi-million-dollar facility that we train nuclear plant workers to go and work on the plants. As part of that, I'm an advisory board member at Chat State on 2 of their programs. And so we get the results of K through 12. And so one of the things I've learned over the years is that information and the ability to communicate the information is vital to the education process. So I attended several board meetings in the spring and wanted to see how the board worked and how it related to the community. Every meeting I attended, there was very little discussion at the actual board meeting. It turned into a voting session of what you guys discussed in the executive session, work planning, all the other things leading up to the actual board meeting. So parents and grandparents in the county have basically 2 ways to get information: from attending the board meeting or the media. And if all the board meetings are a voting session, all we get is policy up, policy down, approve this, approve that. And so there's very little discussion. So I would suggest that the board meetings be extended so that there's board member discussion, parent discussion with those policies that are being voted on. Because we get nothing, like somebody said earlier, other than clicking on a PDF file. We don't hear your positions. We don't hear your concerns. All we get is a vote yes or vote no. So I'm asking, tonight there's going to be a position talked about, board and PIO. That I read the position. It sounds like another layer between the board, the administration, and the citizens. So I would ask you to consider that. The only elected members in the Hamilton County Department of Education are right here. Everybody else is appointed or hired. Okay. So as a citizen of the county, open up the meetings so that the people that voted can hear your concerns, can hear why you take the position you take, so that we can better understand why the policies are getting done the way they are. I sat in one last year, the only discussion of any policy was the cell phone use policy. And it got tabled because the discussion didn't go the way it was supposed to go. Okay, so I encourage you to be open so that we can have a transparent board. Thank you.
We don't normally remark, but we have different committees, and then they meet on different days. That's what those committee meetings are for, and the public is always welcome to those committee meetings.
Speak to that. Go ahead, Ms. Jones.
Just wanted to clarify, or to add on to what Mr. King was saying. So we do have the various committee meetings that are held on other days separate from our board meeting days. Normally they're held about 5:30 or 6 o'clock, which would allow for those that are working, because I did hear Ms. Reed speak to that. And those committee meetings where we do discuss those that are on the committee, some committees everybody shows up for. Can't speak, well, we would hope like that. Some committees they do, everybody shows up, and some committees, those that are just elected to be on that committee show up for. But there's normally extensive discussion on that, because I know I never come to, I rarely get to come to policy meeting, but I do watch it, and there's extensive discussion. Sometimes they go on at policy meetings prior to them coming back. And then at agenda session, which Ms. Reed did speak to this, the agenda session that we have on Thursdays normally, which is what we're having now, is at 4:30, and those are where we have those discussions too once we hear from you all. So just wanting to make sure that the public is aware that committee meetings are probably where the most extensive conversations come through with that. But there is always opportunity with everything, right, for growth or to look at things and to look at them from a better perspective. But just wanted to make sure that the public, and we probably need to just always remind that it's because things change, people paying attention or being more engaged and involved change, and so everybody doesn't know. Not to say that was the case with you, Mr. Poteet, but just everybody doesn't know. So just wanting to share that as well. Only executive session, we cannot, I mean, just by law, we cannot discuss what happens in executive session. But agenda work sessions and anything else that we do where we gather as a body of more than two people is open to the public.
One thing, if you go to the website, the only thing that's on the website is the actual board meeting and like this 5:30 meetings. None of the committee meetings, none of those.
Okay, and those are scheduled as they happen, but we can make sure to update that and make sure that information is out there. So thank you for that.
We also have a YouTube channel, so if you can't attend in person, you can always stream online or watch it later. And all of our meetings are there, the agenda sessions, the work sessions, and any sort of committee meetings. Everything is on our YouTube channel, so definitely follow that if you're trying to keep up.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Jones, for that clarification. Thanks to all of you. Some great ideas, suggestions from so many of you tonight, and we absolutely thank you for that. We have, ordinarily we would end our work session and going into our regular session, but I think it's important, even though we're going to run over our schedule just a little bit, to just touch on the opportunity 2023, Dr. Robertson, 2030, excuse me. And then also a lot of conversation tonight about school safety, and I know there's a lot of wheels that are turning here. And if you would just speak to that, and then following that, I'm going to end this session, and we'll take a brief break, and then come back and start our regular board session. So, Dr. Robertson.
Thank you, Chairman Smith. Real quickly, I'm going to run through this, and this is really an update for new board members to get an understanding of the cadence of information that's coming regarding Opportunity 2030. So you're going to see a lot of these slides, and I know you're already getting familiar with them, but just reminding you of what our just cause is, reminding you of our mission and vision, our beliefs, and you hear a lot of those beliefs tonight reflected in the conversations from the public. We talk about our values all the time. These drive our daily work. There are habits and what we want to be known by. And then, of course, what we say all the time is that if we do all this work well, if we fulfill our commitments, these are the type kids that we're going to graduate. Want you to see all of our commitments, of course, and you're familiar with each of these, but I'm going to point out one tonight just to get you an idea of what you can expect to see as we give out reports. So every student learns. We have strategies for each commitment, right? So strategy here about developing students into readers, writers, and thinkers, and each of our commitments will have strategies associated with them. We also have metrics for every single one of these commitments. And so as we go and give you board updates, and here's the schedule of what you can expect to see is in December, we'll give you an update on every student learns. By December, we should have all the data back from last year. And so we will focus on those metrics of what we're going to show you, a return on investment of the investments that we've made, and make sure that you're up to date on it. You can see January, March, and then June, we'll combine 2 of them. In between those updates, where we will give you a formal presentation at those board meetings, you can expect to see a one-pager that updates you each month on what would be considered like a signature initiative. So for example, maybe 3rd grade literacy, you might see a one-pager 1 month about that initiative. That just is a cadence of conversation where we can keep you updated on our progress towards the goals in Opportunity 2030 and the fulfillment of the commitments that this board has made, the previous board has made, and that hopefully you will make with us as we move forward. You've got that presentation with you. The main point is just to give you kind of the next steps of how we will communicate. So real quickly, Chair, if you don't mind speaking specifically about school safety and our next steps. We just met in executive session, and I gave a brief overview of the many steps that previous boards and previous administrations have made in ensuring that our schools are as safe as they can be. I talked very candidly and passionately, I believe, about what I believe is the continuum of supports that goes into school safety. And the need for us to focus on each and every one of those. Our commitment to every student belonging is a school safety initiative. Our commitment to making sure that we're equipping schools is also a school safety initiative. We're going to continue to build into those. What I spoke to you about in executive session is each board has committed millions and millions of dollars to ongoing projects that you may see and are very visible. Some of them may not be very visible. What I recommended at the end of that, and I think you actually heard it from some of the recommendations coming from the public, is that I do believe we've always kind of wrapped school safety into the facilities committee. I believe for more candid conversation and to help us do a better job of initiating the things that we want to, that it's time for us to develop a school safety committee that would not be an elected leadership position, but one that the board chair would appoint one of you to help head up. Again, I'm very proud of the work that previous boards have done under this administration and even under previous administrations, and I press you guys to work alongside of us in the community to continue to make those strides as we promote school safety. I think it is important for the public to recognize what the resolution at the end of the agenda is actually stating. It's actually not asking for a change in state law. State law already speaks to it not being a zero tolerance if it is not a valid threat or it's a low level threat. In Public Chapter 882, it specifically mentions both Tennessee Code Annotated 39, which is kind of the criminal code, and 49, which is the school discipline code. In that public chapter, it mentions valid threat. That got translated to Chapter 40 or TCA 49, but didn't get translated to TCA 39. So what we're asking is not to lower any standards. What I pointed out to you guys, we've been investigating these threats of mass violence for a number of years now. In fact, 2 years ago, at this point, we had more than we did today, right? And so this is not something that is new to us. We have been very proactive in looking into these threats and making sure that we're keeping students and schools safe. But what we also believe is that, and you can see it in our data, you had several people read off the number of schools, and there is a specific trend in the majority of those. And the trend is that we have middle school boys that are saying things that obviously are inappropriate, that obviously should be dealt with, and we are dealing with them. But what we are also saying is that we think that there should be working alongside law enforcement, working alongside our other law enforcement agencies, whether it's Hamilton County Sheriff or East Ridge, that when we have a student that did not make a valid threat, that there should be the ability for discretion when choosing to charge that student with a felony. It is not asking to change the harshness of the school punishment. It's not asking to change the involvement of law enforcement as usual in court. It's simply asking that we clarify what that language is. I want to publicly say I wasn't in town yesterday. I was coming back into town, but Sheriff Garrett, who I met with yesterday, was at the County Commission meeting yesterday and publicly stated that he believes that our schools are safer today than they have ever been. And I believe that that is true. We've had a great partnership with the Sheriff's Office and have really been a role model to other districts across the state in how we're leading in school safety. It's an ongoing challenge. It's an ongoing commitment of this board, and one that I would ask you to walk alongside of us as we try our absolute best to ensure the safety of not only our students but our teachers as well.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Robertson. And speaking of the County Commission meeting yesterday, I think it's also important to mention that other districts across the state look to Hamilton County with regard to some of the things that we've done over the past several years regarding school safety. And we're honored tonight to have one of our commissioners here. So, Dr. Mackey, thank you for being here with us tonight. With that, I'm going to adjourn our work session, and let's take a real brief break and then come back and we'll begin our quarterly session. So the work session stands adjourned.